Hi there. In this one, I'm painting up a grot from the Grot AOS grot box. It's also in the Spearhead set. So I'm starting this one off with a zenithal highlight. I did an undercoat of black and then an overcoat of white. And then I'm going to start kind of working my way from kind of those smaller parts that are closer or farther in, and then moving my way out. So starting with this teeny tiny brush I have and this Slaughter Red from Army Painter, I'm going to dot his eye, and then his shield is going to get a highlight on the eye there as well. And then from there, I'm going to move to Pallid Bone, and I'm going to pick out any teeth and wraps or grips, handles, belts with this color. So I'm looking forward to the new AOS 4 and checking out that new format of Spearhead. So this is just one of 20 grots that are in that Spearhead box set that the new format can be played as. So my plan is to at least paint up or share my progress with at least one model of each of the different unit types in that box set. All right, from there, I did make a little oopsie on his nose. So that's where this Pro Acryl Bold Titanium White or any white of your choice made a little, got over on the zenithal part of the model. So I'm just touching that up. From there, I'm going to move to his flesh using this algae green. His flesh, his skin, so he's got the arms exposed in his face. I'm trying to be careful not to get it into that red dot of his eye and trying to keep it off his teeth. Pretty challenging with these models since they are so much smaller than like any other model that Games Workshop makes. All right, from there, I'm going to move on to this Beowulf Blue, and I'm going to paint all his clothes, his robes, his little hat, um, and the reason I'm going with the Beowulf Blue, typically these grots are shown on the box as having this black cloak with gray highlights, and I wanted a little bit something different than the gray highlights that are on the box art. So I'm not going to leave this Beowulf blue as is. So I'm actually going to come back and paint over this blue to give him still black robes, but have kind of a navy blue look to these instead of that black and gray look. So that grim black that Army Painter has, it's still a fairly translucent black color. So it allows these darker blues or darker colors, other shades of colors to show through the black a little bit. So you could have whatever highlight color you so choose at this point. So going to that grim black, I do let that Bayoff blue color dry before this step, so that I don't have some weird mixing things happening. But anyway, I'm being careful again not to get on the areas that I've already painted. I did that same thing with the blue, but I'm painting over that blue with this black color. As I mentioned before, it does kind of have a transparent property to this grim black, so it does allow those undercolors to show through a little bit. So instead of being just a solid black or solid blue cloak or hat, it gives it kind of a navy look to it. I probably could have figured out how to mix these two paints together and did one coat instead of two, but I didn't. I chose not to mix the paint, so I kept the paints as is from their original state. So now I'm painting over that blue with this black to give kind of a navy look to these. All right, so here I'm going back to my white color. I need to touch up a little bit of these these spots that still need to be white because I'm coming in with a lighter color. And I hit the back of the shield with the blue. So just touching up where I'm going to be coming in with the yellow next. So going to Zealot Yellow. I'm going to be picking out the little moon shapes. I think on the box art these are painted as gold. I chose to go with the yellow instead of gold on these guys. He's got a little eye patch that's moon shaped. He's got a little belt, a little trinket on his hat, and then his shield as well. With the rest of the models in the box, I'm just painting this yellow on the moon shape on those. So this moon's going to get that zealot yellow color applied all over to give it that nice bright yellow color. From there, we're going to pick out the silvers. So I'm going with this broadsword silver. It's a little bit darker silver color. It has almost kind of a blue hue to it a little bit. So this could be personal preference going with this or the polished silver. I'm going to wash these with a brown wash, so it's going to darken them down a little bit more also. But anyway, with this broadsword silver, there's some miscellaneous bits on him. He's got these two spiky things that are attached to his shield that I painted the metallic silver, and then he's got his little moon-shaped scythe sword, so that's going to get this broadsword silver too. And then while that silver is drying, I'm going to start basing the model. So I'm coming in very carefully because there's not a lot of base here and there's not a lot of distance between his cloak and the base either. So I have to switch from my traditional method of using a old paintbrush to get that close to the bottom of those fabrics to try to avoid getting this basing texture on. But I'm just going with the brown basing texture. You could base your models however you've got them based or however you choose. But yeah. And here is a brown wash. You can use Agrex Earthshade. I've got this Pro Acryl stuff. Either one would be fine. So I'm applying this to both the basic texture after it dried and then also onto those metallic bits. And then highlighting up the base just slightly. I've got this caramel brown by Pro Acryl, just a lighter brown color. You can touch the bottom of his cloak a little bit too to give it a little dusted look. And then I do, with my other Gloomspite Gitz models, I do have static grass. So that's where the Elmer's glue, I've got a really old cheap paintbrush here, cup that I put the glue in, and I'm just brushing it onto the base where I want the static grass to go. And then I've got this Army Painter static grass, so I'm just putting the model right into the grass and picking up where the glue's at. And then I wanted to add a little tuft, just one, just to add a little bit more depth to that. And then there was a little glue that I caught with the static grass again. One thing I felt like I needed to do was give a little contrast on the sword. So I went in with this polished silver and highlighted up the little scythe sword and the silver on the shield. And then from there, I'm just painting the base rim. Brown would work too, but I like this satin black that I picked up from Acryl for the base rims. So here is the results. I hope you liked this one. I really enjoyed this. Nice, quick way to paint these grots up since you've got 20 in the box. And if you collect Gloomspite Gitz, you'll probably end up with more than 20. So thanks for joining me on this one. Appreciate it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.